Hello and welcome to the Rupee Rakshak News of 1st December 2023. Let us look at the global markets updates for the week. S&P 500 and Dow wrap up a strong November with gains of 9% and 8% respectively. Nasdaq jumped up 10.7%, its best performance since July 2022. This stellar November is largely due to the slowdown in inflation and better than expected corporate earnings. The Personal Consumption Expenditure Index (US PCE) stood at 0% in November compared to 0.4% last month. This takes the annualized figure to 3.4%, down from 3.7% the prior month. And in the case of the 10-year US Treasury, the Treasury yields shrugged off the signs of slowing inflation, with the 10-year Treasury yield being up by 7.1 basis points to 4.339%. And all eyes are on Fed Chief's expected remarks for cues on interest rates. He's going to be in a chat with Spelman College President Helen Gale on Friday. Coming to the Asian markets, China Caixin PMI rose to 50.7, beating expectations of 49.3. On the other hand, the government's PMI data that came for this week, and this is for November, the data came at 49.4, below the expectations of 49.7. So while the Caixin PMI rose, the government PMI is down. Both put together, this shows a recovery of manufacturing activity in China. And in case of India, Indian GDP beat expectations for September quarter at 7.6% versus expected 6.8%, largely due to the uptake in manufacturing activity and overall growth in all sectors except the agriculture sector. And the global indices, Nifty 50 was up by 1.71% for the week, Nikkei 225 up by 0.1%, Nasdaq almost flat, down by 0.05%, and Dow up by 0.45%, and DAX up by 1.28%. Let's look at the Indian equity markets this week. Nifty 50 ended on a positive note, gaining 338 points or 1.71%. It started the week higher than the previous close, showing a significant upward movement, and finished with an exceptionally strong green candle. So Nifty is almost at its highest point this week, just 0.5% away from the record highs. In the coming week, Nifty 50 might face a challenge at 20,250, which is the resistance level, and find support at the 20,000 level. And the market sentiment is overall positive, with Nifty showing strong bullish trends, closing positively for last 5 consecutive weeks. And in the mid-cap this week, Nifty mid-cap ended the session with a significant green candle, rising by 858 points, equivalent to a 2% increase. Following Nifty's trend, mid-cap has shown consistent positive performance with a remarkable 12% returns over the 5 weeks. And how is mid-cap next week? Mid-cap is expected to encounter resistance at 43,900 and support at 42,500. So these levels suggest potential challenges for mid-cap as it navigates resistance and relies on support in the market. Overall, this year mid-cap has performed exceptionally well with a return of 45%. Let us look at the Rupee Rakshak baskets market cap wise. The best performing stock baskets from Rupee Rakshak are the best small cap stocks with 3.32% uptrend, and best of mid and small stocks with 2.68% and silver ETF with 2.37% gain respectively. How were the equity sector performance in Nifty? The top 3 sectors in the market are Nifty Auto up by 3.1%, Nifty Metal up by 2.91%, and Commodities up by 2.9%. The bottom 3 sectors were also positive this week, with Nifty PSE up by almost 0.9% and Nifty IT up by 0.61% and Nifty FMCG up by 0.45%. The top 3 sector baskets from Rupee Rakshak, they mimic the index. with the best oil and gas stocks up by 5.84%, the best metal stocks up by 2.69%, and the best auto stocks up by 2.46%. And the bottom three sector baskets, as you can see, are the best consumer stocks, down by 0.71%, best pharma stocks, down by 0.24%, and best financial services stocks up by 0.85%. Rupee Rakshak also offers thematic baskets. The best performing thematic baskets are the best commodity stocks, up by 3.78%, and best energy stocks up by 3.77%, and the best public sector stocks up by 3.38% this week. And the bottom three thematic baskets are the best India digital up by 0.04%, Mahindra Group stocks up by 0.4%, and the Birla Group stocks up by 0.6%. Let's look at the bond markets this week. The 10-year bond yield in India is currently at 7.264%, and November has been the bond market's best month since 1980s, sparking a cross-asset rally. And in commodities, Brent crude oil prices experienced a 3% gain, reaching over $83 per barrel, driven by anticipations of potential oil supply cuts ahead of the OPEC Plus meeting. And the meeting happened, and OPEC Plus agreed to cut output of 2 million barrels per day for the first quarter of 2024. This triggered a fall initially, taking the loss of the month to 5.2% for November. And in case of gold, investors bet on Federal Reserve rate cuts, propelling international gold prices close to all-time highs. Gold reached $2,046 globally and surpassed 60,000 rupees mark domestically, and this marks a record peak for the yellow metal. And the bond markets again, 10-year Treasury yield slips below 4.3%, anticipating US Treasury yield curve steepening next year with expected rate cuts from the Federal Reserve, according to Bank of America. And the top three government bonds from Rupee Rakshak this week have been the Government of India G-Secs with yields of 7.3%. And the top three state government guaranteed bonds are Meghalaya Energy Corporation Limited bonds, UP Power Corporation Limited bonds with yields of above 9%. Let's look at the mutual fund updates for the week. Market capitalization of stocks listed on BSE surpasses $4 trillion. Axis AMC eyes Rs 3 lakh crore AUM by March, expecting 2,500 crores from new funds. SBI Mutual Fund gets RBI nod to acquire 10% stake in Karur Vysya Bank. Let's look at what Rupee Rakshak offers in terms of mutual fund baskets. The advisory baskets for men are start a fund for you, retire in 10 or 20 years, or a dream home, dream car and dream vacation. And in case of women, the mutual fund basket has Self-Reliant Women Basket, our most popular basket. Coming to the mutual fund baskets for kids, kids marriage, kids education and startup funds are the ones you can invest in. So Rupee Rakshak has a mutual fund basket for every need, be it an annual expense fund, an emergency money, or if you want your investments to beat FDs in 1 to 5 years. Or if you are a grandparent and you want to save for gifting your grandchildren periodically. Or if you want to simply park your money in a mutual fund which yields better returns than leaving it in savings bank. Let's look at the property market updates this week. SEBI to oversee online platforms offering fraction real estate assets. And DB Realty sells 2.91% stake in company to raise 301 crore. Signature Global India to invest 50 to 60 crore to develop 20 acres land parcel in Gurugram. And Piramal Group can get back 75% at least of its 600 crore loan on its books. Thank you for watching Rupee Rakshak News. This is your host Raghu Rao signing off.